Okay, yipes. This is going to be so awful. I can't wait. Hold on. I have not watched this because I don't deserve this kind of punishment twice in one day. Whatever penance, whatever karma I am burning off having to deal with this dickhead anyways in my current profession, I do not have to do this twice. All right, here we go. Yes.
Our flag and
hold on. He's sticking to his teleprompter, so let's... oh my God, it's so... Fist bump, squirt, squirt, thank you. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Hey.
Thank you very much to Lee. Thank you, Lee. Wow.
Wow, Lee.
Thank you very much. And
thank you, Lee.
Your re-election today as chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party. We love this state. You've done a great job, Michael, and we thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. I love you too. It's great.
He's trying to do an Obama.
Proud North Carolina patriots who love our country, support our military, respect our police, honor our flag.
Well, unless not Capitol Police. Let's just be real clear.
Always put America first. We don't.
Well, yeah, except when our democracy is on the line, and then of course, but yeah. Okay.
Put America second.
Yes, Trump won North Carolina by a razor-thin margin. He was supposed to win by a lot.
As we gather tonight, our country is being destroyed before our very own eyes.
As opposed to someone else's eyes?
Crime is exploding. Police departments are being ripped apart and defunded. Can you believe that? Defund our... Is that good politics, defund our police? Number one...
Well, no, as a matter of fact, the guy who kicked your ass in the last election didn't run on defund the police. He didn't. As a matter of fact, some of the people he's running against were playing footsie with the idea for a while, and it didn't work well. If you'll recall, your plan to run against this Biden in the beginning was, of course, the crime bill, which was going to make him look worse and was going to ingratiate you, supposedly, to effectively the group that wants to defund the police. But that didn't work because you can't attack Biden from his left flank as Donald Trump. It doesn't work.
It's bad for our country, but think of it, defund our police. You know, I've long said they're vicious, they're violent.
Their pollies are vicious. Like honestly, have you met the Democrats' parrots? They're horrible.
They, in many cases, hate our country, and they have bad policy. Now, the bad news from our standpoint, they stick together. They don't have some of the people like we have, where they go on their own and they do.
First of all, he sounds like shit. Secondly, you do realize you're speaking to a gathering of Republicans that just elected their chairman, and therefore this is the stick together part. All right, his left flank.
They do what they have to. They stick together.
Oh, it's the one thing that I don't understand.
One thing they have, they stick together, but their policy is so bad, and we're going to have a tremendous...
His voice is like, this audio is really low. Yeah, hold on. Okay, now we have to do all this crap again. Oh my God. Let's see if I can bring this audio, because this, I mean, obviously, terrible job, terrible. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to hunt through this ridiculousness again, aren't I? And find a different version. It's amazing to me, like, let's see, all of... Oh, here we go. I've got to go to the tail end of this nonsense. Okay, here we go. I think this might do it. We'll see if they're louder. Oh, good Lord. Oh my God, it's super loud. And a squirty, squirty, clap, clap, hi, hello, do-ba-do. Clap, 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 clap. One more verse, clap, clap, clap. Greg, hey, how you doing there, buddy? Hey, clap, clap, clap. Give me some water. Clap, clap, clap. And staring. Clap, 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 clap. Okay, hello. Thank you, point, point. Thank you. Hey, clap, clap. Thank you, clap, point. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap. I had the clap. Clap, clap, squirt, squirt, squirt. Right on my chin. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's stop this. Hey, Lee. Thank you, Lee, for doing the Lee thing.
Congratulations on your re-election today as chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party. We love the state. You've done a great job, Michael, and we thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
It's so good. I'm amazed. We're all amazed.
Thank you. Thank you.
We love Obama.
I love you too.
Oh, that's not what we're saying.
You too. It's great to be back in Greenville with so many proud North Carolina patriots.
It's great to be back here in a completely natural way. Like why does he do the Elaine dance whenever he has to read a teleprompter? It's great to be back in Greenville.
Who love our country, support our military, respect our police, honor our flag, and always put America first. We don't put America second.
No, not even 1.5. No. So when all that stuff was coming up, that like when you knew Russia was attacking our infrastructure, for example, and you could have put America first by forming a cybersecurity task force to specifically go after it, like Biden just did, and got back all the money from the pipeline attack. You could have done that. That would have been putting America first, one would think. But you didn't. So is that America turd? What is that?
As we gather tonight, our country is being destroyed before our very own eyes. Crime is exploding. Police departments are being ripped apart, defunded. Can you believe that? Is that good politics? Defund our police? Number one, it's bad for our country, but think of it, defund our police. You know, I've long said, they're vicious.
They're polys is vicious.
They're violent.
They're violent polys.
They, in many cases, hate our country, and they have bad policy. Now, the bad news from our standpoint, they stick together.
Yeah, say what you will about the modern Republican Party. I mean, they may not stick together, but at least they're ugly and have bad breath.
They don't have some of the people like we have, where they go on their...
No, they don't have. We don't have Joe Manchin or Kristen Sinema to deal with, or we don't have bifurcated groups within. Oh, right. Sorry. All of our craziness still fits under the actual envelope of functional government. I forgot.
And they do what they have to. They stick together. And that's the one thing they have. They stick together. But their policy is so bad.
That's maybe sticking together isn't the answer.
And we're going to have a tremendous 2022, just like we did, frankly, 2020. Think of it.
Yes, I think if we have a tremendous 2022, like you had a 2020, I'm for it.
More votes than any sitting president in the history of the United States.
And weirdly, Biden got more votes than any presidential candidate in history. So, I mean, obviously, right. I'm sorry, tell us again. You're right.
United States, by far. We had a great election. Bad things happened, but we had a great election. But you look at our border is wide open.
No, it isn't.
Illegal immigration is skyrocketing at a level that we've never seen before. And this is over a period of a few months.
Sure we have.
Drugs are pouring in. Gas prices are...
Yeah. Not only are there more drugs than there ever have been, but driving to get them is even more expensive. Drugs are cheaper, but you're going to have to weigh it against the cost of a tank of gas.
Our industries are being pillaged by foreign cyber attacks. That's a lack of respect for our country. And
is it? It's just respect. That's why. So when they did it while you were president and you didn't care and you fired the sis ahead. All right, we'll get.
And speaking of our leaders, they're bowing down to China. America is being demeaned and humiliated on the world stage. Our freedom is being overtaken by left-wing cancel culture. And the Biden administration is pushing toxic, critical race theory and illegal discrimination into our children's schools. Now,
yeah, Basically, he's done. You just did Mark Levin's checklist.
You tell me, we take this? Joe Biden and the...
Yeah, you do actually. You spend most of your time golfing. You formed a micro blog. You whine a lot, but yeah, you take it. You basically, I mean, everything about this says you take
Drop
it.
your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
Moon River. Socialist Democrats are the most radical left-wing administration in history. Even Bernie Sanders can't believe it. He said, I can't believe this happened. This is worse than I ever was.
Is that what he said?
And I don't know if they even know what the hell they're signing. Somebody's drawing these documents and putting it in. It's getting signed. It's a disgrace what's happening to our...
Projection's fun. Why you're staring at me? It's my hair, isn't it? It's nice today.
Our country.
I have kind of like elven, like I have a very Lord of the Rings hairdo today. It's not. I laid it down more, you know.
The survival of America depends upon our ability to elect Republicans at every level, starting with the midterms next year. We have to get it done.
Yeah, gotta get it done. Whew.
We have to get it done.
Yeah, we do.
We have no choice, actually.
No, we don't have a choice.
We have to
Not actually, no.
get it done. Together, we're going to
No, we'll get it done.
defund our freedoms. You just take a look at what's happening. We have to defend our
freedoms,
borders. We have to do all of these things. And the cancel culture, the defunding culture.
Yeah, the defunding culture. There's a big defunding culture, especially in Biden's $4 trillion economic plan. It's all full of defunding. They have this weird inverted way of doing defunding, which is more money.
The defending culture, and they defend the wrong things.
I'm sorry, what?
The funding culture. The defending culture, and they defend the wrong things. We're not going to let it go any longer.
No, we're not going to let it go any... What? Wait a minute.
The cancel culture.
That I understand.
The defunding culture.
Yeah, not...
The defending culture, and they defend the wrong things.
Sure, you would.
We're not going to let it go any longer.
Any longer than that.
Stand up for our values. We have to stand up for our values, and we're going to take back our country, and we're going to take it back
very
at
quickly,
a level that is
no one's ever seen it before.
Very, very
good
for our country. And
Jesus Christ, this is gibberish. What?
It's good for our citizens because we can't allow bad things to happen to our...
No, we can't. We just can't.
Our country.
No, not bad things.
Bad things are happening to us. Perhaps like never before. You'll be seeing what goes on, and perhaps like never before.
But will it be like never before? Holy shit. Hi, everybody. Don't forget, patreon.com/HouseSparks, paypal.me/HouseSparks, Venmo.com/@HouseSparks. How's that work? Yeah. Bits and stuff. There you go.
This evening are many outstanding North Carolina Republican leaders who are fighting right by our side, including one of the strongest and bravest new voices in the Republican Party. He's been a great supporter of mine, and I'm a great supporter of his. Your incredible Lieutenant Governor, Mark Robinson. Mark? Stand up, Mark. Good job. Thank you. Thank you.
Clap, 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 clap.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark.
He gets a standing ovation. You think Trump's going to let that stand?
We're also joined by...
I guess he is. He doesn't have much choice.
Some of your terrific representatives in Congress, and I think Virginia Fox is here, who I just endorsed. Where's Virginia? She's around here someplace. Virginia, thank you very much. Thank you, Virginia. I thought, Virginia, you should have a better seat than that. I'm sorry. A great guy and a friend of mine, a tremendous supporter, David Rouser. David, thank you very much. Thank you, David.
So,
thank you, David.
The magnanimity.
Dan Bishop, right from the beginning. Been so good. Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
He's the one who made all of this losing possible.
Great job. We had a big victory that night, didn't we, Dan? Huh? He said, I don't know if he's going to win. He won. He won big. Richard Hudson. Richard, thank you. Great job, Richard. Great job. Great job.
This basically, he's doing paid cameos live.
Somebody I've gotten to know very well, and he is a handsome sucker. Where's Madison? Madison Cawthorn. Where is Madison? Where's our Madison?
Don't tell him to stand up.
Thank you, Madison. Thank you. What a great guy. What a good future you've got. Where the hell is Madison?
Yeah, he's saying hi to him, and over here, he's actually, somebody was pointing that he's over that way.
Thank you, Madison. Great job. Thank you very much. If I had a face like him, I would have been president 20 years earlier. 20 years earlier, Madison.
Well, yeah, you also would have been busted for all of your rapes a lot earlier, too.
And thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. Greg Murphy. Where's Greg? Where's Greg? Thank you, Greg. You're doing a really great job. We're proud of you. Mm-hmm. We're proud of you. And a friend of mine and somebody that's really been incredible, respected by everybody.
So you barely know them.
Congressman Ted Budd. Where's Ted? Where's Ted? Good job, Ted.
So you work the room. I'm guessing, what I'm saying is you work the room with these folks, or you talk to them, and somebody put on your stand, because you have a good staff working, that says table 6, table 5, table 3, so that when you're making a speech, unless you were actually sitting amongst people and then came up, which you wouldn't do in his case, your staff would, in case anybody's wondering how this works, they would put the name in, or the table where they're sitting, and work it out with you beforehand in the teleprompter on your speech, or have a little seating chart as a little note. Yeah, but obviously, Skinflint doesn't hire anybody worth a damn.
Good job. And here as well are two people that you may know of. Actually, I probably like her better, because she was a supporter of mine before he was. People don't know that. Deb Meadows, stand up. Stand up, Deb. But we have to say, Deb, he wasn't far behind. It wasn't like, many, many months. No, he had somebody else in mind, but he switched over very quickly. I don't know if he had a choice, right, Deb? Mark Meadows, everybody. Real great guy.
Yeah, not so much.
And with the spirit and energy and commitment of everyone in this room and the voters all across this state, 2022 is going to be a banner year for North Carolina Republicans. They said this state was, if you look back 10 years ago, Michael, they said this state was finished. It was not going to be a Republican state at all, and they had elected a governor, and it really looked bad. And then these guys, some of them that I just announced, but others also, we all got together, and you've never been in a stronger position, and now you're going to have another senator. We just elected a wonderful friend of ours, and Tom is going to be great. I think Tom, he got off to a little rocky start with Protect Bob Mueller, but you know what? He flipped in the other direction totally, and he's been terrific, and he had a great race. He ran a great race. Sure. He really did, and he had my total support. And he called me just a little while ago to tell me, enjoy the state, because I love the state. I love being in the state. But I just want to say...
He just said, enjoy the state. Is that what he said?
That this was going to be a Democrat state. And here we are, and we're really dominating when you look at everything that's happened. So congratulations. It's really great. To you, congratulations.
To you. I don't even.
I think we're going to gain 2 or even 3 U.S. House seats. We're going to take over. If you look over the House.
Oh, yeah.
Get rid of Nancy Pelosi. Remember, they stick together on an impeachment hoax. Not one Democrat, not one voted against. Well, actually, we had one that came over to our side, who was a terrific person.
So exactly one. So you don't know what you're talking about. All right.
Actually. But you take a look and...
Not one. Well, actually, exactly one.
But they just do it a little bit differently. They play very tough, very dirty, and we just can't let it happen. We're going to win North Carolina's all-important U.S. Senate race. And we're going to lay the groundwork for making sure that Republicans once again carry the great state of North Carolina in a year that I look very much forward to, 2024. We're going to do numbers like you've never seen before. So many
Yes, but they won't be in a good way.
things are happening right now, but we're going to do things like you've never, ever seen before.
Yeah, nothing like never ever seen before, like it's never happened before and never done. Is he just going to repeat that phrase over and over this whole goddamn speech?
I stand before you today confident that the people of North Carolina will decisively reject Joe Biden and the radical Democrats, the war on the American worker, the American family, and the American nation. And I have to tell you that
I love it. Like, he reads straight from the teleprompter. This is straight old Steve Miller stuff. And then he's got to have an
a
aside.
very special person. You know, she's been, I love my family.
Special?
I love my family.
Okay.
And I happen to love this particular young man that she's married to. He's a very tall person, by the way, but not as tall as Barron. Barron is 6'7". You believe it? And he's 15. And Eric is short. He's only 6'6". But we love our Eric, and we love them all. They're all great. And he is
You could feel the warmth.
married to a very special woman, Laura, and I'd like to have her, you know, she was born in this particular state. She loves this particular state. And maybe I'd like to ask Laura Trump to come up and say a few words. Laura, please, come on up.
Can we just start off really quickly, and I'll keep this brief, but Donald Trump is 2-0 in the state of North Carolina, folks. How about it? Not bad. And I got to
And Botox.
thank all of you, because I promised my father-in-law that we would win this state for him, and we won it in 2 elections. So thanks to all of you. But you guys know, I was born and raised in this state. I absolutely love the state of North Carolina. My parents, Bob and Linda, are here with my brother Kyle.
Oh, she knows what table they're at.
They drove in from Wilmington
Tell him where Wilmington is.
to be here tonight. My brother graduated from ECU right here in Greenville. He's a pirate.
Pirates aren't good. We had problems with them in the waters off of Yemen, I think. Where was that?
And this state truly made me the person that I am today. I love this state so much, I named my daughter Carolina, okay? And I
don't mean it as a pander.
don't want any of you UNC fans to get any ideas, because y'all know I'm Wolfpack for life, all right?
Okay, so New World Order horn sign. I'm sure that will show up in any number of Hillary documentaries.
I want to set that one straight. Now, you may have heard a rumor.
By the way, he's just standing over there while this happens?
In North Carolina. Decision.
How long does this go on?
Saying no.
Good Lord.
And I special from the state room. I am not fighting every
I'm still here.
step of the way with Senate seat.
Jesus.
We have to have a person in that Senate seat who represents North Carolina and is going to lead this country in the right direction. So I want to say thank you to everybody. I had so much support and so many people that were so sweet and poured out so much love for me with the thought of me possibly running. So again, no for now, not no forever. At the right time, I would absolutely love to come back and consider running for something here in my home state, because I love it dearly. And before I turn it back over to my father-in-law, here's what I want to say. We are 2-0, but what do you say we go 3-0, guys? Let's do it. I love you guys. Thank you.
Oh, those polls, if you believe in those polls. Laura. But, you know, she also explained, I love my family, I love your son, I love those beautiful children, and I have to take care of them. I love my family, I love your son, I love...
You mean your son? Or...
But, you know, she also explained, I love my family, I love your son, I love those beautiful children, and I have to take care of them. And there's something very refreshing about that. I don't hear that from everyone. Sadly, I hear a lot of the opposite, actually.
What? Opposite what? What? Does everyone say they hate their children? What the fuck are you talking about? What?
And there's something very refreshing about that. I don't hear that from everyone. Sadly, I hear a lot of the opposite, actually. But that's why you're such a special part of the family, because you look at the numbers and you look at the polls and the love that this state has for you, it's incredible. So thank you. And I've been putting a little pressure. I said, make your decision, please, because we have to pick somebody. And what I don't want is I don't want a lot of people joining a race that have been big Trump supporters, and then I have to go with somebody, because there's somebody in this room that I think is very special, somebody that I've worked with, always been with me, always been with Mark and Deb.
I don't know where they are, but...
And all of us. He's a man that hasn't been pushing me at all, unlike some of the others that are running that won't win. They won't win. You know, we have another race after this one. This man's a great politician, but more importantly, he's somebody that loves the state of North Carolina. He loves the country. And I'm going to do it now because, again, I don't want a lot of people running and then they're going to be disappointed. And in many cases, they're friends of mine. You know, they're great people. They're thinking about running. They want to run. And they wanted to wait, frankly, till Laura made her decision, because she would have been tough. She would have been tough. And she's very outstanding. But I think she did the right thing for her and for her family. But this gentleman is going to be your next senator. He's going to be somebody that you're going to be so proud of. He will fight like hell. Would you agree with that, Mark? Well, he will fight like nobody fights.
Who?
And a lot of you don't know him that well, but you're going
Well, then...
to know him probably within about 2 minutes. Ted Budd, please come up. Please come up. Please come up, Ted. I am giving
Ted Budd. Come on, get up here, Ted.
him my complete and total endorsement. We're going to work with him. We're going to campaign with him. You
This is his boy.
can't pick people that have already lost 2 races. You can't pick people that have already lost 2 races and that do not stand for our values. So I'm going with Congressman Ted Budd, complete and total endorsement. Come on up, Ted, please.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Wow, Mr. President, thank you so much. You know, and go back to 2016. I was in a 17-way race and won that primary and got here. I was a business guy that never run for office.
Oh my God.
I think
who cares? Don't let me ever catch you wearing my suit again. Happy. Oh my God.
Well, thank you very much, Ted. You know, honestly, he did not know about this until about 15 minutes before I walked to the podium. And he was very taken by it.
You mean you made a flippant choice of who you are going to give total endorsement to, unequivocally, without any reservation, and the guy didn't even know? You hadn't even spoken to him about it? You just picked the guy who was obviously the front runner? Jesus.
And I have read this on numerous occasions, so I'm not saying it myself. The wonderful, that's a lot of media, that's good. Wow. It's hard for them to cancel when you get great ratings, isn't it? You know,
Yeah, you're on, that's the Right Side Broadcasting Network feed. Did Fox carry the whole thing live? I know the local Fox affiliate did.
they may edit that out. They don't want to have that. They don't like that. They may have to edit that out, Ted, but that's okay. They don't like those endorsements. But we've been
They don't? It's kind of the only thing they do give a shit about.
very, very successful. Literally hundreds to one, hundreds to two in terms of the endorsements and the power of the endorsement, because people respect that I do want to make America great again. We were doing that. We were doing that at a level that nobody's ever seen, and putting America first, ahead of China and ahead of all of these countries.
Well, except when it comes to, saying that she and the CCP are completely transparent while you're signing a trade deal with them and then ignoring COVID for months and months and months because you wanted to finish that. And I don't know which is first.
And people know that that's where we were. And before the pandemic came into our shores, we were
Before a real test of leadership happened?
doing numbers. In history, there's never been anything like it.
Well, not note for note, sure.
Unemployment for everybody, for every group, everybody was the best it's ever been. We're up to
No, that's not true.
160 million people. No, we were never even close to a number like that.
Well, yeah, but that's why we go by percentages, because if you were just counting, that's how many people were in the entire country, let's say, in 1910.
And then we had this horrible thing come in from China, and we got that one right too, by the way. Do you notice? You see what's going on over the last, it's called the lab.
It's called the lab.
That was an easy one, Wuhan. But you had this horrible problem come in, and like every other country, we went down, and they were saying how well India was. Look how well India is doing. Well, India's not doing too well now, and we've done an incredible job, and most importantly with the vaccine coming up with it, but we've done an incredible job, and so many things have happened, and we built the economy not once, we built it twice. Think of it, because we built it, we had the highest stock market ever, the best job numbers.
Well, obviously the job numbers are, took a shit when you actually had a real problem to deal with, and they were already going down from the Obama administration. Of course, stock market is way higher right now.
And then we had to regroup, we had to do a lot of things. We became the ventilator factory of the world. We were making them for everybody, and we had, our cupboards were bare. The federal
King of ventilators. Really, we're going to bare cupboards again?
We're making them for everybody, and we had, our cupboards were bare. The federal cupboards were bare, and the state cupboards were bare.
And you left them that way for 3 years until, oh shit, there's a fire in the kitchen. Do we have an extinguisher? I know I'm in charge of that shit, but do we even have one? Yeah, here it is. It expired 2 years ago. You're supposed to, shit. I'm the greatest leader ever.
And we've done a tremendous job. We never got the kind of credit that we deserve for that. One thing we do get the credit for from everybody, even the other side, although they try and disparage it as much as possible, was the vaccine, coming up with the vaccine. But we did something else.
What else?
That people don't talk about it.
What was that?
I made a bet, and I shouldn't call it a bet because
it wasn't a bet?
Maybe you say speculation as opposed, but it was somewhat of a bet.
Oh, you mean investing in the stuff before we had, that was in the pandemic response team's manual they gave you?
We bought billions and billions of dollars worth of vaccine and all forms of getting that vaccine into your body, the needles, the bottles, the whole thing. We bought millions and billions, actually, of dollars worth of the vaccine, and we saved a period of a year, maybe more. You wouldn't have the vaccine right now. This room would be empty, because they would ask me to be here, and I would say, no, thank you. And you would say the same thing. This would.
I thought he was going with, like, this room would be empty because everyone would be dead.
It'd be an empty room right now.
It'd just be there, just alone, I said, to no one there.
Now, and your state would be in a lot of trouble, and the country would be in a lot of trouble, because you wouldn't have the vaccine until probably October. It might have even been later than that.
Well, yeah, that's why Congress and the CDC and the NIH and everybody was advising buying it early. All you had to do was sign the paperwork. It wasn't your idea.
And one of the things I'm most proud about is
is that other people suggested good ideas and you didn't do everything you could to shut them down?
the vaccine, develop the vaccine, and I pushed the FDA. They have never been pushed, would you say, Mark Meadows? They have never been pushed like that. He was there at a lot of those meetings. Those were not nice meetings. They do not like me too much, that I can tell you.
Captain's log.
Frankly, the drug companies don't like me too much either, because I did a thing called favored nations, where we have to pay whatever the lowest is in the world. That's what we have to pay. Nobody.
By the way, that's not even close to true. Like that was a lie when he was selling it. They started a commission to find out why we don't pay and what that amount would be if we had favored nations. Like, this is just, now it's just made up.
Nobody can believe I instituted that. If they leave it alone,
you didn't institute anything.
you'll soon have the lowest drug prices that we've ever had by. But that doesn't mean that they like me. They spend millions of dollars against me, and that's okay. They have to do what they have to do. But we did things that nobody has ever done. I'm very proud of the biggest bet.
At a level that no one's ever seen them before?
Greatest bet ever made in the history of the world, because we saved a year. We bought billions of dollars of this vaccine before we even knew it worked. And because of that, we've all, most of you, I guess all of you, just about, in one form or another, you've had your shots or jabs, as they like to call it. I actually like the other.
You like the other word? And no, they haven't. You're at a Republican gathering in North Carolina. It's basically, they've got anti-vax booths out in the hallway.
Word better, but you've.
He likes shot better than jab, because it sounds tougher.
We've saved a lot of lives. We've saved all over the world. We've saved millions and millions of lives, and I'm very proud of it. And nobody can ever take it away from us, because that's something that's very, very special. And the people in this room are very, very special.
And yeah, the camera's very special, and the graphics are special, and right side's special, and these flags are
Biden
special.
administration
Is very special.
You know, the Biden administration seems to be putting America last. You look at these negotiations where so many bad things have happened.
Oh, these terrible negotiations. What?
48,000 jobs were lost.
What do you mean? Keystone? There was no negotiation on Keystone XL. Everybody ran on shutting that down on the Democratic side.
By President Biden's day one rejection of the Keystone XL pipeline. Why?
Right. What negotiation are you talking about?
For what reason did they?
Because it's an environmental hazard, and it benefits another country getting their oil to market. It doesn't benefit us at all. And the environmental dangers from it outweigh the value of allowing Canada to pipeline their oil through our shale oil through our country and sell it on the open market, where we still have to compete with everybody else to buy it at that rate.
Did they do that? And if you like the environment, the pipeline is much better than railroad tracks, and it's much better than trucking.
Yeah, they don't have to come through here at all, dummy. Why do you think they didn't build the pipeline east or west through their own country? Why would that be?
Great. And they ended it on just about day one.
Yeah.
48,000 jobs, not 8,000. They said 8,000. It's 48,000.
Temporary jobs.
Think of it. He rejected our pipeline.
Our pipeline? I'm sorry. Are you? Justin Trudeau looks like shit.
But he approved the Russian pipeline, which I had completely stopped, going into Germany and all parts of Europe.
Did he approve it?
So I stopped Russia. And I have a very good relationship with President Putin. But there's never been anybody as tough on Russia than I was.
Well, that's because Congress passed a bunch of stuff and you had to say yes to it.
And you look at these horrible cyber.
Oh, moms, good luck tomorrow. We're all sending our love to you tomorrow for your surgery, moms. Take care of yourself. And I salute you. And this is me holding onto your hand really tight.
Attacks. You look at all of the things that are happening. We're in a different world than we were in just a few months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Shops and restaurants are opening. You can go into all the stores around me without wearing a mask if you've been vaccinated, or if you can still wear a mask if you feel more comfortable that way, which is nice.
Yet there's no better example of Biden's failed agenda than the catastrophic, and you look
The catastrophic.
at it, is what's going on the southern border. I mean,
Yeah, it's catastrophic.
is there anything that you've ever seen like what's going on the southern border?
Yes, like 18 times over the last 20 years. Yeah.
And people are coming in from South America, Latin America, but they're coming in from the Middle East. They're coming in from all over. When I left,
Uh-oh, not the Middle East. Bunch of those globe-hugging people,
office,
the orb huggers.
we gave the new administration the most secure border in U.S. history. We had the most
And by we, he means he's speaking on behalf of COVID.
secure border in the history of our country, and that included drugs, that included human trafficking, which is a magnificently horrible.
It is magnificently horrible. Holy shit.
And big business.
It's a magnificently horrible and big business. Why do you sound jealous?
Mostly trafficking in women, and the numbers were down to levels that they hadn't seen in many, many years.
Yeah, because no one was crossing the border and no one was going out and no one was mixing with people they didn't know and people wearing masks. I don't know the extent of how human trafficking works in terms of, I guess, border brothels and stuff like that. Is that part of what you're talking about, where people, since they weren't going out, business was way off?
And all they had to do is just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. If you
Well, apparently not, because there were big holes in the wall that they're supposed to finish, right? Leave it alone and fix it, or leave it alone and leave the whole... I don't
leave
understand.
it alone, it would have gotten better and better. And the fact that we built
Well, if the wall's there and it's not working, how do you leave that alone?
almost 500 miles of wall, in just a few months it would have been completed. Took 2.5 years of litigation to get to build the wall. And
Yeah, well, it's obviously, there's a lot of, I don't know what the legal difficulty is in trying to convert, Mexico's money into ours and then have it pay for a taxpayer provided. I don't know, there must have been complicated.
what an impact it had. But it would have been completed, totally completed in just a couple of months, and they stopped it. Now I understand they're starting it again. That one was just too easy. But wait till they find out wait till they see what those contractors are going to do to them. Well, this is going to cost us 5 times more money now because we weren't prepared,
Oh, really? You mean like the ventilators? You mean the 19,000 ventilators the Obama administration had ordered and you canceled the order, and then when you had to buy them, you had to buy them at retail? You mean like that? He's speaking from experience,
The old
folks.
story. They're the greatest negotiators in the world. They may not have gone to the greatest business schools, but they're the greatest negotiators. But we negotiated historic agreements with Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador to stop illegal immigration.
And it didn't work because people were piling up, and that's why you had to start the, remain in Mexico thing, and that's why the border towns were filling up with South American migrants.
We ended asylum and asylum fraud.
Both of them? Yeah, so we didn't have asylum and asylum. Well, I guess if you end asylum, the best way to get rid of asylum fraud is to just get rid of asylum. You know what I mean?
Fraud of what was going on at our border was unbelievable. We instituted rapid removals on the border, and that's really rapid. I call it
Super rapid.
one-day turnaround of criminals coming into our country.
Is that what you call it? Just because it's shorter.
Really rapid. I call it.
So you could say rapid turnaround, and people would kind of get the point.
Fraud of what was going on at our border
you could
was
say-
unbelievable. We instituted rapid removals on the border, and that's really rapid. I call it one-day turnaround of criminals coming into our country.
It's longer.
Sending
Thanks,
people
Graham.
home in record time. We have times that nobody ever heard of before.
No, times like these were made for Taster's Choice.
We ended catch and release. That's where you catch somebody. Could
And release
be a
them?
horrible criminal. You
Could be a horrible criminal, except when you catch the horrible criminal, you don't release them.
catch somebody, a rapist, a murderer, could be
A very nice person, I
a
assume.
drug dealer,
Could be a clean
and we
person.
release them.
Could be a shoe shine guy. Could be an architect. Could be a tank driver from Syria. And there's a bunch of people from the Middle East. So,
It's called catch. We catch them and we release them into our country.
I
Well,
see.
we didn't do that. We empowered ICE to do their jobs. ICE is incredible. The Border Patrol is incredible.
It's weird. Then why did Obama deport more people than you did? Yeah, there was a fish, there was a goose.
By the way, your police force in North Carolina, I've gotten to know them very well. They are incredible. Thank you very much. A lot of them are here tonight.
Oh, say.
We cracked down on sanctuary cities, deported gang members by the thousands, and dealt a crippling blow to MS-13, that's the most vicious gang of all, and we took them out of here.
By the way, if you'll notice, there's been a lot of big gang busts, both in New York, Washington, D.C. There was one in Baltimore where they're getting they're rounding up and like using gang tactic teams and RICO and all this stuff to just sweep these entire 20 dudes at a time. They're all going away for a very long time, for murder and drugs and all this other stuff. And none of them are MS-13. They're just not there. They're the people who control all these cities.
Here by the thousands and thousands brought back to where they came. And those countries didn't want them back.
Especially the ones that are from here. What he doesn't tell you is they were trying to drop off American citizens.
And a little story, I said, well, what do you mean they don't want them back? They weren't taking them back. They didn't want them back. They sent them out. They didn't want them back. And I said, that's bad. And they told me that, sir, we can't take them. They won't let us land planes. They're putting other planes on the runway so we can't land planes. They won't take the buses. I say,
they won't take the buses?
how much do we
how much do we pay to land a bus on the tarmac?
pay those countries? Sir, we pay them $500 million a year. Oh, you do? Tell them we're not paying them anymore. And the next day I got a call from all three countries. We'd love to have MS-13 back. We think they're wonderful people. We never had a problem. And now they blew that one too. They blew that one too.
Did they? Because they're doing direct deportations of people at the same clip they were doing under Obama, effectively, when they're gang members or violent criminals. We still have those planes.
I'll never forget it. We'd love to have them back. It would be a great honor to take them back. Those runways opened up like you've never seen anything open up.
Yeah, like nothing's ever opened before. Lord.
After we instituted these policies, the number of illegal aliens coming across our border declined by an astounding 91%.
Yeah, during COVID.
But under Joe Biden, illegal crossings are up nearly 1,000% compared to the same period last year.
Yeah, when they were down 90%. So they went from 10,000 to 1,000, and now they're back up to 10,000.
They're emptying their prisons. They're sending murderers, drug dealers, human traffickers, and others just as bad to the United States. Let the United States take care of them. Remember, it's called America Last.
Is it? So these people you had a great relationship with, the Mexican president, so he basically oh, Biden's in now, let's dump our prisoners into America.
In April
they'll kill them.
Alone, over 175,000 illegal aliens were apprehended and mostly released. You know where they were released, right? They were released into our country. And we saw the largest number ever of unaccompanied minors. We've never seen anything like it. Have you? Just watch some of the Semifair you don't have to watch Fair, Semifair. They talk about it because I think
the television Semifair. Jesus Christ!
they have no choice, and I think they're going to see it more and more. You don't see it too much on the evening news yet, but you're going to see it because they're destroying our country. But it is.
Everybody's like, I don't know what the fuck. Does anybody know what this?
Much worse than that, because there are at least 1,000 aliens who are simply getting away every single day, as the radical Democrats have.
1,000 aliens getting away every single day? That's so frightening. Hold on. Did that work over here? Hold on. Let's try it. Yeah. Did that work? Hold on. No, guess not. Oh, I know why. No, there it is. Continue.
Intentionally, ruthlessly, and systematically dismantled the sovereign borders of the United States of America.
That's rough. Hold on a second. Here, hold on.
We have people just walking into our country. Nobody knows who they are, where they're from. There's no vetting. There's no
None?
anything.
No, there's no nothing. As a matter of fact, they give them a lollipop.
And some of these people are very, very bad people. Much as I said on that beautiful morning when I came down with our future First Lady at the time, right, Melania, who sends her regards.
From wherever she is.
But we
By the way, he's doing the... There it is. There you go. That triggered my alien thing, finally triggered. Took it long enough.
came down that beautiful gold escalator in Trump Tower, and I made that statement, and people hated it. It turned out that my statement was very minor compared to the actual facts. It was very, very minor.
No, it was just a racist claptrap. And it makes even less sense now that you allege that you have a great relationship with the president of Mexico, and apparently he's still sending the word, he's emptying their prisons of all their murderers and convicted felons and stuff into the United States, as if those people wouldn't, like, land on American soil and go, I think I'll go back to running my cartel or whatever the hell.
It's another thing we were right about. Without a border, you cannot have a nation, certainly not a great nation.
Well, yeah, some of the worst nations don't have borders at all. As a matter of fact,
We fight for other countries' borders, but we don't fight for our own border. Think of it. We fight for other countries' borders, but not for our own.
Do we? When's the last time we had a border war for someone? Seriously. North Korea, like Korea? Right?
That changed under my administration, but now they're going back more rapidly than anyone ever thought possible.
Yeah, no one could go. They're doing such numbers going rapidly than anyone's ever
Nobody
seen.
thought that they could do this
Go
kind
this rapidly.
of destruction to our country so quickly.
Yeah, it's almost like you had a paper-thin presidency that was all executive orders and bullshit, and it was easy to dismantle. Meanwhile, you spent the entirety of your presidency trying to bring down the ACA. Oops.
Those executive orders that are signed are absolutely insane. Biden has halted wall construction, suspended removals and even removals of...
Yeah, removables. All removables are being removable.
Just horrible
removables.
Suspended removals and even removals of just horrible people.
There's two groups. There's the deplorables and then there's the removables. And the expendables. I think the expendables for the removables, Jesus
Stopped
Christ.
enforcement, shredded our groundbreaking,
They shredded our ground bacon? This is why we can't have good bacon anymore.
People. Stopped enforcement, shredded our groundbreaking, remain in Mexico.
I'm sorry, my mistake. He did not say ground bacon. He said our ground baking. This is from when he was on the greatest cooking show ever. What the fuck is going on?
So we had that groundbreaking
ground bacon
plan that took us a long time to get.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because Mexico, like the other countries, were taking advantage of the United States. Everybody was taking advantage of us. And we have an agreement. Stay in Mexico as opposed to stay in the United States. And a lot of people weren't coming when they realized they had to stay in Mexico. So
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. By the way, I have to check something because he's talking about the, let's see. So, I just wanted to check on the whole open borders thing. I want to make sure that what Trump is telling us is right on the money. Let me check real quick with the current messaging of Harris's message in Guatemala: do not come to the U.S. Vice President's warning was in line with what other officials have tried to convey for months in the face of an influx of people trying to enter the country. Do not come. Do not come. The United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border. Thank you, John. For the ground bacon. So So I thought they believed in open borders. Isn't that what it was supposed to be? Isn't it? Okay. My mistake.
Tremendous 2022, just like we did, frankly, 2020. Think
What
of
the
it.
heck? Oh, God.
The numbers were down to levels that they hadn't seen,
Where the hell were we?
probably higher than that. I think around 92% had criminal records. And now they're all being set free and released back into your communities. They don't want to bring them back. And if they are back, they actually have a new policy that if we took them out, they're going to let them come back in. It's the most incredible thing I've ever heard. But the border is just the beginning of the Biden disasters.
Yeah, sure it is.
As you know, we handed the new administration the greatest economy in the history of the world.
Did you? Because according to the Fed and every other source, we entered a deficit in February of last year before COVID even struck.
We passed massive tax cuts, the largest ever.
Not the largest ever, and the ones for corporations were permanent, the ones for individuals were temporary.
Larger than
Anything, the largest thing that anyone can ever believe is large.
our great friend Ronald Reagan. Record regulation cuts, historic pro-American trade deals, and achieved American energy independence. How's your
Energy.
gasoline price doing? Actually, I guess you were hit worse than any state, from what I understand, on the
Thanks, Laura.
cyber attack. It's incredible. It's a lack of respect. After
Yeah, that's what
the
did it.
pandemic began, we launched the fastest economic recovery on record. We produced 3 vaccines and numerous therapeutics to defeat the virus. You know, they don't talk about the therapeutics, but we came up with things that are incredible and I think
Yeah, in the lab, were you working long hours?
extremely effective.
Yeah, they were like the light bulb up the ass thing.
All Joe
That was your idea, right?
Biden had to do was sit back and do nothing, and it was taking off like a rocket ship. Nobody's ever seen it. Between the economy and all of the other things we did, the border. Instead, the economy is going to hell, and inflation
Yeah, it totally is.
is going to cause a catastrophe in the near future.
Well, you can keep hoping,
The New York Times, who I don't often quote,
but when there's an op-ed that you like,
just stated, 1 million jobs a month seemed within grasp not long ago. Think of it, 1 million jobs a month seemed within grasp.
yeah, within grasp.
Not long ago, but
Not long ago.
now it looks like wishful thinking. Isn't that sad? And we would have done much better than that. But
Yeah,
that's the New York Times saying it. Monthly jobs numbers have missed expectations the last 2 months
and yet unemployment surprisingly went down.
in a row.
It might be that people are holding out for their old jobs to come back instead of just taking jobs that are opening at a lower level, so they have to quit and then take another job.
So what was released
Or work on starting their small business up from scratch, and it's going to take them a few months to get it up and running. Instead of flipping burgers, they could spend their time opening a restaurant, which will employ other people, so they're not going back to work yet.
on Friday, they were devastating numbers, job numbers.
No, they weren't.
Inflation is now
They asked economists how many jobs they think would be created. They said somewhere in like the order of, was it 680,000, and 550 were created, 550,000. And then the unemployment rate, though, went from 6.1 to 5.8, which was better than expected.
is now at the highest level in 13 years and is going to go up very substantially. It's going to cost you a lot more. It is now
What-
at the
sorry,
highest.
what
They were
is?
devastating numbers, job numbers. Inflation is now at the highest level in 13 years and is going to go up very substantially. It's going to cost you a lot more. Imposing a stealth tax on hardworking Americans, and especially on middle-income Americans. Biden re-entered the job-killing Paris Climate Accord, a terrible deal that is pro-China, pro-Russia, and anti-American,
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, 556,000.
and will cost America trillions of dollars over the years.
Why?
This is a deal that is so one-sided against us,
How one-sided is it?
like practically no other deal, but they're all bad. But this one's a real beauty. But it sounds so nice, right? The Paris Environmental Accord.
The Paris Climate Accord, but sure.
Gas prices have increased
He's just pissed that nobody in Paris wants to ever see him again.
Almost 71%.
Did how lower that's Trump on his own. I think they the volume on their thing went down.
Since 1 year.
Unless, oh wait, hold on. Did I grab the other one? Is that what happened? Oh, I'm sorry. That's my bad. Good Lord.
So the enforcement
Yeah, sorry.
was so much better, and it was getting to a level that nobody's ever seen, and then we finally hit that level. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They turned America into a sanctuary for criminal aliens, and effectively they were abolishing ICE through agency directives. What they've done to ICE and what they've done to our Border Patrol heroes is incredible. It's incredible. And these are some of the finest people you'll ever meet. I got to know so many of them, and they're among the finest people you'll ever meet. It's true.
It's true, but not really next.
I love our country. Despite the worst border crisis in history, we've had the smallest number of illegal alien removals ever recorded. 92% of illegal aliens we removed in 2020 had criminal records. You believe that? 90, over 90, and very substantially probably higher than that.
No. That's because you criminalize just crossing the border on the same level of human trafficking and selling fentanyl to toddlers. Of course they have a criminal record.
Around 92% had criminal records. And now they're all being set free and released back into your communities. They don't want to bring them back. And if they are back, they actually have a new policy that if we took them out, they're going to let them come back in. It's the most incredible thing I've ever heard.
No, they don't. There's no policy. Seriously. There is, yeah. There's no policy where the Biden administration or anybody in it said, you know, all those, the criminals that they've been brooming out, that ICE has been getting out, you know, we're going to have a specific policy so those people, those folks will be let back in. I mean, it's just daft.
But the border is just the beginning of the Biden disasters. As you know, we handed the new administration the greatest economy in the history of the world.
All right, we saw this part already. Hold on.
Our great friend Ronald Reagan. Record regulation cuts, historic pro-American trade deals, and achieved American energy independence. How's your gasoline price doing? Actually, I guess you were hit worse than any state, from what I understand, on the cyber attack. It's incredible. It's a lack of respect. After
He's very shiny.
the pandemic began, we launched the fastest economic recovery on record. We produced
Yeah, we're not actually into the recovery yet. We're still dealing with it. We're losing like 500 people a day still.
3 vaccines and numerous therapeutics to defeat the virus. You know, they don't talk about the therapeutics, but we
No, it would you and a light
came up
bulb,
with things that are
a gallon of bleach, and I mean, what problems do you really have?
incredible and I think extremely effective. All Joe Biden had to do was sit back and do nothing, and it was taking off like a rocket ship. Nobody's ever seen it. Between the economy and all of the other things we did, the border. Instead, the economy is going to hell, and inflation is going to cause a catastrophe in the near future. The New York Times, who I don't often quote, within graphs not long ago. Think of it, 1 million jobs a month seemed within grasp. Not
within our grasp.
long
That's
ago,
so weird.
but now it looks like wishful thinking. Isn't that sad? And we would have done much better than that. But that's the New York Times saying it. Monthly jobs numbers have missed expectations the last 2 months in a row.
And yet, unemployment has gone down more so than that. Never mind, I don't even
And
know
you
why
saw
we're
what
bothering.
was released on Friday. They were devastating numbers, job numbers. Inflation is now at the highest level in 13 years and is going to go up very substantially. It's going to cost you a lot more. Imposing
To what?
a stealth tax on hardworking Americans, and especially on middle-income Americans. Biden re-entered the job-killing Paris Climate Accord, a terrible
I backed up a little, so
America, trillions of dollars over the years, like
I'll skip ahead a little.
practically no other deal, but they're all bad. but this
There you
one's
go.
a real beauty. But it sounds so nice, right? The Paris Environmental Accord. Gas prices have increased almost 71%
Since no one was driving last year?
1 year ago.
Good Lord.
Think of it. Democrats are now
Understand,
attempting
Skibo.
to pass the largest tax hike in American history.
That's not true either.
And it will affect everybody. They're saying it's against the rich. It's against everybody. And a lot of the rich will take off to go to other countries. A lot of the companies that I brought back are going to leave and go back to other countries where they can not have to pay all of their profits out in
The G7 just, like, Biden got them to agree to a global 15%.
taxes. They're talking about the biggest tax hike in history by far. They're also pushing a $2.25 trillion infrastructure bill. That's not infrastructure. It's the kind of things that you don't want.
Yeah, this is, okay. Tell us the things we don't want. I'm very excited.
9%
Like what?
looks like it might be infrastructure, but mostly it's not infrastructure at all.
No, what is it?
The Democrat legislation also includes an extreme plan to abolish single-family home zoning, which would obliterate your home values, increase crime, and destroy the suburbs, all to satisfy the far-left agenda of AOC, Bernie Sanders, Rashida Tlaib, and Ilhan Omar, who's telling us how to run our country. She's had great experience.
This is the whole go. She's one of the people. He was like, go back to your own country and fix that, and then come tell us how to fix ours. He's basically jumbling that
She
in his
comes
head.
from a country that's done a wonderful job running their country. Now she's telling us how to run our country. While Democrats push economic
This is her country, by the way. She's a citizen.
policies designed to punish American workers, Republicans must keep on fighting to protect, promote, and uplift the American worker who we cherish.
God damn, this is dull.
And that begins with standing up to communist China. Last year, China inflicted an estimated $16 trillion of economic damage onto the United States with a virus that I call the China virus because I want to be accurate, that claimed the lives of hundreds of thousands of our fellow citizens. And look at the world.
Yeah, look at the
Look
world.
at what happened to the world.
What happened to the world?
It's not just us. It's the
Not just us.
world. And had
It's our world.
we not come up with a vaccine, you would have had a 1917 Spanish flu number.
Ever since he was corrected, you guys have noticed this. Ever since he was corrected on the air by that female host, he said 1917 instead of 18. He was always saying 1918. Yeah.
They lost, they say, up to 100 million people. You would have had those kind of numbers. You would have had numbers that
No one's ever
just
seen before.
unthinkable.
Unthinkable numbers that no one's ever seen before.
But because of what we've done as a nation, because of the speed that we came up with a vaccine.
Yeah, because of the speed that we came up with the vaccine, with Operation Warp Speed. That's the main reason why Republicans are refusing to
The
take
world
it.
will not have that. Many places in the world are getting better. Even India today announced that they're starting to heal. The media, the Democrats, and the so-called experts are now finally admitting.
Yeah, but he was corrected by the one. That's right. No, he hasn't. He slipped back to 17 then. Yeah. He was on the air and he said 1918. Or she said 1918. He always said 17. Thank you. Yes. Sorry for jumbling those two things. So he had always said it was 17. Then the woman corrected him. He said it right, and now he's gone back to saying it wrong. Thanks for catching that, guys. I'm talking out of my ass because I'm following along with
First said
this.
13.
I think I'm getting dumber watching this. Yes, it's 1918, 1920, and he kept saying 1917. The woman said 1918. He said 1918 for the rest of the interview, and now he's gone back to 1917.
18 months ago, the evidence demonstrates that the virus originated in a Chinese government lab. Couldn't say it.
What?
That the virus originated. The media, the Democrats, and the so-called experts are now finally admitting what I first said 13 months ago. The evidence demonstrates that the virus originated in a Chinese government lab.
Bullshit. You didn't say that. But, by no means did he say that. And if he said it 13 months ago, so during the time you were saying China was being completely transparent and all these, like, during all that time, it'll pass it, but it'll be done by April. I mean, it was created in a Chinese lab, but we'll be able to have Easter, you know, but it was created, seriously.
Couldn't say
Yeah, because you don't know it even now.
the virus originated in a Chinese government lab.
Yeah, and holy shit. What?
Couldn't say it. You couldn't say it. And Dr. Fauci, who I actually got along with, he's a nice guy. He's a great promoter, you know. Not a great doctor, but he's a hell of a promoter. He likes television more than any politician in this room. And they like television. But he's been wrong on almost every issue. And he was wrong on Wuhan and the lab also, very wrong.
By the way, this is part, I don't know why this didn't get more coverage, but this is him making news because as a former president saying that China created COVID in a lab outwardly, if it actually is, I don't know what's bigger news, that a former president of the United States is claiming that that COVID was made in a lab and he's saying it unequivocally during the speech, or that nobody gives a shit about what this asshole says anymore, so he can say even something like that, and it literally doesn't even chart.
And we ended the payments. You know, they were started in 2014, and then I can tell you, Mark Meadows came in, and I talked to him, and he saw what I saw, and I said, what the hell's going on? When did that start? Started in 2014, and we ended it. Our administration ended it. But generally speaking...
By the way, gain of function studies stopped in 2014 under the Obama administration. Then they came back under his. So what he's talking about insofar as the money that they stopped was security funds.
I went the opposite way of Dr. Fauci, what he was saying. For instance, Fauci said, do not close our borders to China or Europe. But I did it anyway.
No, he didn't. He said, don't do just that.
And months later, he said, I made the right decision and saved thousands and thousands of lives. He said it was the right decision, but he did not want to close that border. I said, wait a minute, there's tremendous infection over there. We can't let this happen. And we closed it, and I think we saved hundreds of thousands of lives. You remember the number was 2.2 million people in our country.
If you did nothing.
Who were expected to die. Fauci said powerfully at the beginning, no masks. You remember that? No, masks don't work, masks don't. And then he went into masks, and then he became a radical masker. I would call it, if you have 3, if you have 4, get a pair of goggles also, ideally. And let's wear them for another 5 or 6 years. But Fauci has perhaps never been more wrong than when he denied the virus and where it came from. The time has come for America.
He didn't deny where it came from. It came from the Wuhan area. The question is, did it come from a lab leak? Would it occur naturally and show up in the market? It definitely spread from there. We all watched the news pour out of the cases spreading out of Wuhan in the Hebei province and them shutting down the Hebei province and people trying to sneak out and then it breaking through the borders and getting everywhere else and spreading across the country like a pandemic would. No one questioned that.
America and the world to demand reparations and accountability from the Communist Party of China.
Reparations, yeah. So the trade deal that they only met a third of their obligation on, that wasn't enough?
We should all declare within one unified voice that China must pay. They must pay.
Well, they are. The whole world is moving production out of China and into Taiwan and Thailand and Vietnam and then Eastern Europe.
The United States should immediately take steps to phase in a firm 100% tariff on all goods made in China. You saw what
Yeah, except Ivanka's.
What was happening with our tariffs. In fact, you know, the Democrats were fighting the tariffs. Oh, we don't. Well, he hasn't taken those tariffs off. He doesn't want to. Billions and billions of dollars, 25% tariffs on China. Billions and billions of dollars is pouring in. And frankly, if you raise...
Frankly, it's like it wasn't even your idea, and it was presented by a bipartisan economic council.
Raise them, a lot of things would happen to China. I think they'd stop building their military. I think a lot of companies would move back to the United States. And I'm not...
No, they wouldn't. They'd move to, like they're doing right now, to Taiwan, Vietnam, Thailand, and South Korea, and Eastern Europe.
I'm not only talking about China, I'm talking about others. Because, you know, what China does is they'll sell through other countries. They're very ingenious. They're very smart. Had a great relationship with President Xi until the China virus came in. Then it was real tough. We made a tremendous deal for the farmers. You know, farmers are doing better than they've ever done because of us, because of me, because of what we've done with our administration. Better than they've ever done. Look at...
Yeah, the biggest socialist payments, the biggest government subsidies to farmers in our history. I mean, honestly, all of this bragging, understand, whenever he brags about this, understand that this is all 100% taxpayer cash paid into the pockets of farmers. Literally the whole, like, they're paying farmers for food they don't grow or whatever. Well, all this went to China anyways.
Look at wheat prices and virtually all prices. The farmers are doing the best. And one of the reasons is China's buying tremendous amounts. And they want to keep us happy. They want to keep me happy. I don't think they want to keep Biden happy. I don't think they care too much about Biden, to be honest.
Yeah, they knew that they could, by buying a bunch of pork, soybeans, and corn, you'd forget about the idea that you knew 13 months ago that the disease had come from a lab. What the fuck is he talking about?
But they wanted to keep me happy, and they were invested.
So they wanted to keep you so happy, that's why they released the disease into the country to murder 600,000 Americans? What kind of premise are you operating on?
With our farmers, they were buying so much of our product, and they continue to do so.
Yeah, while our people were on food lines.
We made a great deal, but after the virus came in, I just felt differently. It meant,
yeah, it just hit me wrong.
You know, a trade deal with China didn't mean very much.
Yeah, it's just kind of the wind went out of my sails.
It didn't mean...
Yeah, it didn't feel it. It didn't what?
It meant, you know, a trade deal with China didn't mean very much. It didn't mean, to me, it was just a whole different...
Yeah, it didn't admit to me.
It was a...
honest to God,
China didn't mean very much. It didn't mean, to me, it was just a...
It didn't admit to me.
Whole different. It was a whole different mindset. Does that make sense? I used to talk about the trade deal. I'd drive these guys crazy. That trade deal was great. Look at our farmers. They're starting to do great. You look at beef. You look at cattle. You look at all of the different things. Corn.
Beef and cattle?
Corn, wheat. You look at it. What a great deal. When the virus came in, I don't even talk about the trade. This is the first time in a long time I've even mentioned the trade deal. And it's really been very beneficial. But it's so tiny compared to the
600,000 dead Americans and the fact that millions were on food lines, and we literally could have, since we were paying our farmers out of government coffers anyways, and China was devaluing their currency, so they didn't have, the tariffs didn't mean anything to them. We were just basically they were just raiding our food stores thanks to you. What?
The devastation that's been caused. And we should reinvest 100% of all of that money that we collect from tariffs to help bring back jobs and factories from China and other places back to America and back to the great state of North Carolina where they belong. You know, over the years, I've built lots of hotels and lots of things, and I used...
No, other people built them and designed them, and you slapped their name on them because you have a branding company, and you've had a branding company since 1992.
To buy my furniture from North Carolina. Are you a furniture guy? Stand up. There's only one in the room, I think. Right?
He can't find any of the Congress people that he's going to endorse, but he can find the one furniture.
But I helped you a lot, right? Good, thank you. Great to have you. And the quality was incredible. Now so much of it's made in China, right? So much. And we were stopping that. It was all stopping. And then we had to slow it down a little bit after the pandemic. But it was all stopping, and it was all starting to come back here into other places. And I will tell you, I bought a lot of furniture, a lot of things. And a lot of times you'd put furniture made in China into a hotel room, and it would break. Somebody sits down in a chair, if you don't sit down lightly, the damn thing would collapse. Then I get sued as usual, you know.
Well, yeah, because, I don't know, you're buying breakable furniture, you cheap bastard. I thought Trump hotels were supposed to be top of the line. Doesn't he sell opulence? Right?
But nobody ever made it like you made it here and you make
Yeah, nobody made it like you made it
it
here.
here. So just stay tuned, okay?
Stay tuned for the making.
Because we were all set to bring it all back. It was all coming back. In addition, all nations should work together to present China a bill for a minimum of $10 trillion to compensate for the damage they've caused. And that's a very low number. The damage is far, far greater than that. As a first step, all countries should collectively cancel any debt they owe to China as a down payment on reparations. The nations of the world should no longer owe money to China. China has destroyed so many nations. I mean, we came out better than anybody. Our economy's stronger now than any other
So they did us a favor? Is that what you're saying?
nation. Nobody's recovered like us because of what we've done, because we laid a great economic foundation, and because
How many floors does China own in Trump Tower? 7, I think?
of what we've done with the vaccine, and also what we've done with the distribution of the vaccine. But China should owe money to the nations of the world. They've been destroyed. These nations have been destroyed. Sadly, the current administration is very timid and frankly corrupt when you look at all of the money that they've been given as a family by China, that instead of holding China accountable, the Biden administration shut down the U.S. government's investigation into the origins of the virus
No, they didn't.
shortly after taking office. What's
No, they didn't.
going on? Now, Hunter, who had no experience, walked out with $1.5 billion to manage. You know how much money you make on $1.5 billion to manage?
Well, yeah. Except it was 4 years before he joined the
They
company.
needed Hunter's advice. They don't use the smartest people on Wall Street. They don't want their advice. I spoke to somebody on Wall Street. I won't mention his name.
Yeah, please
I'll
don't.
get him in trouble. But I
Yeah, absolutely.
spoke to somebody. I said, who's one of the biggest? I said,
We've heard, by the way, we've heard this story before.
do they do this? He said, I can't get money. And this guy's record is better than anybody.
Yeah, but he's a hedge fund dude, or he operates an investment portfolio. These guys were literally shepherding the investment into somebody else.
Now that's a disgrace. We must never forget that
He knows, it's a guy from Wall Street, the actual Wall Street, right?
Joe Biden and his family took millions of dollars from the Chinese Communist Party. They bought them off. They flagrantly lied about it to the American voters. If you remember, it was a big deal at the time, and then all of a sudden it was canceled. They didn't want to talk about it. The big tech and the fake news media didn't want to talk about it.
What did they
You
want
could
to
talk up a storm. In fact, I'll guarantee you those cameras are starting to go off right now. It's true. Yeah, those red lights, well, there's one over there. What the hell network are you with? This guy's going to lose his job.
It's RSBN and Fox,
The American
the local Fox affiliate.
voters and now Joe Biden are doing what they're doing is just terrible. And to the American voter,
Wait a minute. Did anybody follow that? What that was? Because he just kind of lost his train.
it's true. Yeah,
Well, hold
his
on.
media didn't want to talk.
Let me
They
see.
didn't
What
want to
was?
talk about it. The
What?
big
They didn't
tech
want- what did
and
they want?
the fake news media didn't want to talk about it.
What?
You could talk up a storm. In fact, I'll guarantee you those cameras are starting to go off right now. It's true. Yeah, those red lights, well, there's one over there. What the hell network are you with? This guy's going to lose his job. The American voters and now Joe Biden are doing what they're doing is just terrible. And
What? I'm sorry. The American who?
and now Joe Biden, this guy's going to lose his job.
The what? The American
The
voters?
American voters and now Joe Biden are doing what they're doing is just terrible. And to the
Yeah, the American voters, these bastards.
American voter and to our great country, because we are greater than China. There is nobody like us. Nobody has the people that we have. Nobody has the the genius that we have.
Yeesh.
Nobody has the things or the system that we have when it works.
Yeah, it does have, guys. I mean, I think when I think of American exceptionalism, I think of the things in the system that we have.
Nobody has the things or the system that we have when it works, but it's broken right now. It's corrupt, it's broken, whether it's elections, whether it's business, whether it's taxation,
Yeah, the whole thing's broken.
it's so many different things.
So many different things.
Nobody has what our country has. The Biden administration has been one shameful and embarrassing foreign policy disaster after another. And you know, the former Secretary of State, he said, Joe's never made a good foreign policy decision. Biden cravenly lifted sanctions on Iran. Oh, Iran. Oh, I would have
They
had
would have been so glad. I would have had them give me a deal
a
already.
deal in 1 week.
Right. Well, then why didn't you? I would have had that deal in 1 week. Which week was this? 15 years in the future?
1 week.
1 week.
If I won, I even told them, I said, you know what, let's get the election over with, we'll make a deal. It would have been a great deal. Now they're actually asking for money. Here we go again. Remember, they got $150 billion.
Of their own money.
Plus $1.8 billion in cash. Now they're actually asking for money. They never asked me for money. It's
What?
unbelievable. It's so sad to see. So many things. That's one. Look at what's happening with North Korea. Remember when I first came in, we were
going to have a war.
going to war with North Korea. War is inevitable. Nuclear war we're talking about.
Yeah, now they've got ballistic missiles that can reach the continental United States. Congrats.
And he's pretty well
And during your presidency.
stocked up. And I got along with him.
He's pretty well stocked up. That's a good way of putting that he has enough missiles to strike the United States, and they can reach us.
It
Great.
started off a little rough, but we got along great. I liked him, he liked me, we got along great. And there were no problems. You don't even hear about North Korea. Now you're starting to hear.
Are we?
Because he doesn't seem to like Biden very much, and there's nobody to talk to. Kim Jong-un, he's a different kind of a guy. Takes a different kind of a guy to talk to him, too. But I got along with him.
Well, yeah. You both had the same kind of moral and ethical basement.
Got along with him.
I don't know what the round of applause that he's a magical person who can do magical things.
Remember when I had the meeting, they said, he's given so much. He's given. I said, I haven't given anything.
Yeah, that's because you don't know what the American president meeting with him means. You think it's just another, I don't know, shake hands. I don't give a shit.
They
And we don't need concessions.
said, that's a problem. All right. Then they said, no, you agreed to meet. I said, well, what the hell is that? It's a plane trip and it's back and forth. That's okay.
You legitimize his entire regime, and everybody there on their state media goes, see, the United States president came to kiss his ass. He must be the real
But
deal.
you know, the sanctions were all left. Massive. Nobody's ever been sanctioned like them. Or Russia, by the way. Russia. Not only the pipeline, but Russia. Look at the sanctions on Russia. Nobody's ever, and yet I got along great with Putin.
Well, yeah, because you wait, if they gave you a date to implement a sanction, you literally waited till midnight on that day and gave them as much time to shuffle their money around and get it out as you possibly could.
But I got along great with Kim Jong-un. Got along great with everyone. Not all of them like me. Germany's ripping us off on trade. They understood that. So when I want to reduce 52,000 soldiers, take out 25,000 soldiers, which costs us just tens of billions of dollars, everyone goes crazy. But I did the right thing, and they would have done anything. But now they want to put everybody back. It's a shame. Biden's also beholden to America's enemies, and so beholden. Nobody's ever seen anything that
Yeah, nobody's seen this much beholden
he
before.
actually criticized Israel while the Jewish homeland was under attack by thousands and thousands of rockets and missiles launched
No, he criticized them? How did he do that?
by.
Did he say Israel shouldn't exist, or did he just say the Netanyahu regime is handling it poorly? Or it was a very, very balanced conversation. Quote him, please.
Iran. It was launched by Iran. It was a betrayal
Jesus.
of Israel when you look at what happened in Congress. You know, it used to be 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, everybody was with Israel. Today, I guess it's just not in vogue. But you look at some of these radicals that they have in the House of Representatives.
Or it could be that is the Israeli government is more right-wing than it's ever been, and its behavior is seen through that lens. And that 10 years ago, Netanyahu didn't feel this emboldened, but with somebody like you in office for the last 4 years and pushing this kind of nonsense, he felt like, yeah, the reins are off.
Representatives, you have to deal with them all the time. And Israel is
Something.
really almost out.
Something. It's almost out of fashion. It's not hip anymore.
Almost out. It's a very, very terrible thing. And Biden foolishly
Out. It's almost out.
eliminated the travel ban on terror-afflicted countries. I said, I don't want people in from countries that blow up each other. I don't want them in. I don't want people.
Yeah, that blow up each other. You want to leave the people who are getting blown up, who are innocent victims, there. Look, if you're in the country and you're not one of the people who is, enacting the violence, but if you're on the receiving end of strafe bombings and murders and all that, then you got to stay there too. I mean, come on.
I want people in that are going to blow up our shopping centers. I don't want people in that are going to blow up our cities. And I won in court. They said I didn't win, and they were right. I lost at the lower court, I lost at the second court, and then I won at the Supreme Court, and we have a travel ban, and now they want to give it up. When the press talks about the travel ban, do you ever notice that he lost in court? And they're right. I lost here, I lost there, and then I won. We got the travel ban. They don't mention the last one. But we have a travel ban, and they are ending the travel ban, as I understand it. So they don't mind people coming in that like to blow things up and kill
Yeah, that's what they're
people.
That they don't mind.
And he's taking action to increase the number of refugee admissions by 700%. This is announced stuff. But
Yeah, back to the number it was before you came in office.
it'll soon be by over 2,000%, and that'll go up and up and up. And
2,000% from 2020.
I don't know what they're doing.
So it's up 700% from the first year of his presidency, and then up 2,000% from last year. And that brings it up to exactly the normal number it was running at for decades.
They don't need them for voting. And a lot of people say they want them for voting, but they don't need them because they cheat so much in the voting, you don't have to go through this process, okay? They don't need them. I keep saying they don't need them for voting. They just throw the ballots in there. Just, what do we need people coming in? We don't need that. We'll just throw those ballots in there and many other things.
Yeah, just many other things.
Yep, they're destroying our country.
Yep.
And now Biden
Yep.
is being openly mocked by China's negotiators and Russian President Putin, and they're taunting him and they're laughing at him and they're
And he doesn't seem to mind.
humiliating our country. And do you ever notice when he had a hard time going up the stairs in the plane? Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks. The news didn't cover it. Not one network covered it. Now, when
Every piece of footage you saw of it was him on a network news show.
made the best speech I've ever made, they said
Oh, good.
it was at West Point. And it was pouring. And I had a ramp that was a nice skating rink. And I said to the general, I said, General, I may have to grab you because the last thing I'm doing is going down. So I walked gingerly down. That was on every newscast in the world, and I never went down either. I never went on my ass, I'll tell you. I wasn't going to fall. I think that was a booby trap. I'll never forget that ramp. That was like a sheet of ice. It was cold, rain.
Yeah, it gets worse. It was cold and rainy. This story gets worse every time he tells it. He's going to be, in 10 years, there's going to be footage of him on a golf cart telling, president stories to anybody who wants to rent time golfing with him. And he's going to be talking about how he took fire.
Rainy, and that ramp was long and steep. I said, General, I might have to grab you, but I'm not going down under. And unfortunately,
he just said that part. I didn't repeat.
I wasn't wearing American shoes. I had Italian shoes, nice leather. Leather. It's like an ice skating rink. But they made that a big story, but they didn't make the Biden fall. The triple fall. I call it the triple fall. Under my administration, America was respected again, totally respected.
Totally.
We withdrew from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. We stood with Israel, recognized Jerusalem as its eternal capital.
Well, you have to, because if you don't do that, then Jesus can't come back there, and all the Jews can't have their throats slit on Armageddon, and then I guess Baptists rule the world.
And recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. They've been working on that for 55 years, and I got it done. We decimated the ranks of the world's top terrorists, you know that. We got our allies to pay their fair share. We stood up for our freedoms and for our country, and we stood up to
Please tell me he's coming to an end.
America's adversaries like never before. Nobody's
Like nobody's ever seen this before.
ever done what we've done. I got other countries with NATO to pay. We were paying for NATO. We were paying for NATO. I got them to pay $430 billion. Nobody knows. Nobody. You don't read about that. The head of NATO is probably my single biggest fan. Secretary General of NATO. They couldn't believe. You know, if you look at NATO, they're spending. So we were getting ripped off on trade. Okay, and on top of it, we were protecting them militarily. And how about Germany? They pay Putin, they pay Russia billions of dollars for energy, and then we protect Germany from Russia. How does that work? Think of it. They pay Russia billions and billions for the pipeline that nobody even knew was being built until I started making it a big case, because I said, why are you doing this? You're paying them billions of dollars, and then we're protecting you from them. What the hell kind of a deal are we? What are we doing?
Well, NATO doesn't just worry about Russia. There's a lot of other factors there.
Not believe. I could name so many. I could say
Please do.
so many different things.
Say them, please, because we've heard all these before.
South Korea. I got them to pay hundreds of millions of dollars a year. They hadn't paid for years and years.
So you got along with Kim Jong-un, and you were the kind of guy who could get along with him, and then you made South Korea pay more money.
Years and years, anything substantial. And my deal was they were going to pay billions of dollars, and it would have already taken place. And I refused to renew the deal. The deal expired. He knows better than anybody.
Yeah, I don't understand. They told me to sign this.
I said, we're going on a month-to-month basis. Do you believe it? We want a 5-year deal. I said, no, because you're not paying us. Why are we protecting you? You took our television business, you built the ships, you built everything. You're making a fortune, and you're not paying us for military protection. And we're protecting you against a very hostile nation. Why? And they were very...
Because they were pivotal. That's our staging point. That's for our safety.
Very angry. They're great negotiators. But finally, they agreed to pay hundreds of millions of dollars. And it was because their budget had already been passed. I said, that's okay. But in January, February, we're going to meet, and you're going to pay us $5 billion a year. And they said, no. But eventually they said, I can tell when they're about ready to fold.
Yeah, about.
So we didn't renew the deal, and we were going to get billions and billions of dollars from South Korea, who we protect. And they're great. They're wonderful. Everything's wonderful, but we were being taken advantage of. Again, kill us on trade and kill us on the military. And what happened? They just renewed it for a cost of living increase. Think of it, a cost of living increase. So we've been protecting them for 85 years. And
Holy shit.
They'll
Good God.
pay if you ask them.
They'll pay if you ask them.
Nobody asks. In fact, I said, why are we paying for your military? Because that is the way it has always been. Well, that's not a great answer, I didn't think. I said, but that won't be the way, but I guess he turned out to be right, because they just got a cost of living. Think of that, a cost of living. I guess he turned out to be right, because they just got a cost of living. Think of that, a cost of living increase of less than 1%. We would have gotten at least $5 billion from them. We fully rebuilt the U.S. military and created the first new branch of the United States
Space Force.
Armed Forces in 75 years, called the Space Force, so desperately needed.
Captain's log.
A lot of people, a lot of things happening right here on the Space Force, too. We ended the forever wars in Iraq and Syria and Somalia and Afghanistan. We brought them back home. And this is just the finishing little. We brought them back home. We're down to...
Yeah, it was just the finishing part. The forever wars in Syria?
Very few soldiers in any of those places. And I'm very proud of it. These were the endless wars. So bad, so bad. I'd visit soldiers at Walter Reed Hospital, where the doctors are truly fantastic what they can do. But I'd see these young people that were just blown to pieces, and it's so sad. I'd be at Dover, where the these magnificent machines would come in, the big cargo planes, and that door would open up and there'd be a coffin in the back. And the military, the soldiers would take that coffin and walk it off the plane. And I'd be with the parents an hour before and we'd be talking. And I'd say to the general in charge, General, the parents seem to be okay. And he'd say, no, they're not, sir. They're not okay. I said, General, I'm having a great conversation. And the mothers oftentimes would say, oh, my son was such a great football player. Sir, he had an arm that was so powerful. He was so strong. And he could throw a ball so far. He was such a good player, or other things. They tell me these stories about, they just were so in love with telling the stories about their son or their daughter. In some cases, their daughter. And then I'd look at the general and say, well, it's amazing the way they can handle it. And then the plane would come in and the general would say, sir, it's not going to be good. And that door would open up, that big back door, right, would open up from this incredible,
This is fucking horrifying.
powerful machine that can lift up army tanks like it's nothing. And it would open up and there'd be one or two or three or four coffins. And I'd see the same people that were talking to me so jubilant about their child, how great the child was, would start screaming. Screams like I've never heard before.
Jesus Christ, this is fucking awful.
It was the most terrible thing to watch. And the general in charge would say, sir, you're going to see things that you maybe will not have seen. Like what, General? He said, mothers and wives and even fathers sometimes breaking through the military ranks and jumping on top of the coffin. And I got to see that one time where a mother was just, she was devastated. She jumped on, and these incredible, extremely fit soldiers are taking that coffin and would jump onto the coffin, and they would just keep walking. They wouldn't do a thing. They would just keep walking. And the mother was on the coffin, and this is for Afghanistan and for Iraq and for these other places where so many mistakes were made, where we should.
Jesus Christ, this is gross. Can you imagine relating stories about receiving coffins of dead soldiers this way? I mean, understand all the beats and stuff that he said. I don't want to replay it because it was so gross. What movie is this from? Right. He seems baffled by the emotion of these people that lost their children. Like, he seems like the jubilant part is the part that's real. And then they're just, I don't know what the hell happened to them. That when the coffin with their son or daughter in it came off, they would just lose their mind, and it was horrible to see. Fucking hell.
We shouldn't be, and we can't do that. And we're moving them out. We're moving them back. 21 years, you've heard 19 years, but it's not 19. Now it's 21 years in Afghanistan. It's enough. And we haven't lost a soldier in Afghanistan since January last year. We haven't lost a soldier. Not one single soldier has been lost. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So it's hard to believe the records the Biden administration is doing, and I'm very glad that he's continuing to move them out. I think it would be very hard to stop, to be honest. I think, frankly, stopping.
Look, you know why there's a delay? Do you know why they missed the Biden administration missed the deadline? Because one of the major factors, and there's a lot of logistical things that can happen, but you can speed those up, is that they never processed any of the people that we were going to evacuate who helped us over there. And there's like 113,000 Afghans who, if we leave, are going to get killed because they helped us during the Afghan war, and therefore they need to be relocated to the United States, and none of that work has been done. They were going to pack up and leave them hanging. There was no motion made. When he established that May 1st deadline, you would go, okay, it's going to take us a year and 3 months to make sure all these folks get out. So a year and 3 months before the May 1st deadline, they should have been working on this during the Trump years, and they were not.
Stopping would be very, very hard. But so I'm very honored by the fact that they're continuing to bring those soldiers home where they belong. And we have other things to
You're honored. They're not doing it for you, asshole.
possibly get ready for, because, you know, the bigger ball game, we have to be respected as a military power, because if we're not respected, these other countries that are very big, very powerful countries, they will take advantage of us. And you know what I mean by that.
What do you mean?
So we cannot be doing what we've been doing for the last very long period of time. When we got into Iraq, I said as a private individual many years ago, don't go, but if you're going to go, keep the oil.
Fucking hell.
We didn't keep
Angela, Hal, don't you get it? He enjoys the horror. I don't doubt it.
the oil. And they make a lot of money with that oil. I know how much money they make. They make a lot of money. And we are looked upon as not very smart people and not a very smart country. So we're doing things that nobody thought were possible. The radical Democrat Party has become
Holy shit.
consumed by the unquenchable thirst of power. You know that?
You mean the kind of unquenchable thirst for power where you go in with the idea that you're going to liberate a country from Al-Qaeda, and whether they like it or not, you're going to take their natural resources to pay yourself for doing it.
I don't know. You know, it's a term that I've heard for a long time. They want power, power, power. I don't know. I think it's power, it's money. I think it's a lot of things. I don't
Sure.
think it's just power.
No, it's not just power. I mean, obviously, anybody with a phone charger has power.
It's too ridiculous. They want to take away
It's too ridiculous.
freedom of speech. They want to take away religious liberty. And Biden has already
How?
introduced legislation in Congress to take away your guns. You know, your guns, they were under siege. You do know that. And I told you all these things. Again, nobody ever thought what is happening would happen.
I did.
In
I actually called it, and I voted for the other guy, and I like what he's doing. So I mean, I'm just saying.
Texas, I said, we're going to win. We won Texas by a lot.
Yeah, that's weird, especially when the polls had you going the other way. But ES&S machines,
We
right?
won Texas by, but they were against oil, guns, and God. And then you'd listen to the fake news. It's going to be a very close race in Texas. It wasn't very close at all. Republicans must never waver in protecting the Second Amendment and
Good Lord.
keep and bear arms. We have to have that power to keep
To keep them,
and
yeah.
bear arms. If we
Right.
don't, we will have
If you can't keep and bear
a
them,
problem like nobody's ever seen before.
we'll have a problem like nobody's ever seen before. Jesus Christ. Is anybody keeping track of the number of times he says like nobody's ever seen before?
But they want to take
At this point, shouldn't there be someone on stage, like literally checking it off? If he gets, ladies and gentlemen, we're thank you for being here tonight. If your main speaker tonight says like nobody's ever seen before, over 30 times, everyone here gets a car.
to take away your guns, and I said it before the election, and I say it after the election. To take away your guns, and I said it before the election, and I say it after the election.
And during the election and around.
The Biden administration has also issued regulations to indoctrinate America's school children with poisonous and divisive left-wing doctrines, such as critical race theory, and exact opposite of the American belief that we all are people. I don't know where they come from, but it's terrible.
Oh, sorry.
We have a group of people. I don't know where they come from, but it's terrible.
It is.
Just as the state House of Representatives has done right here in
So,
North Carolina,
who the
Republicans
fuck-
at every level.
Who is working his teleprompter? Because they are just not, I mean, it must not be his regular person.
Should move immediately to ban critical race theory in our schools. And we should ban it in workplaces, we should ban it in our states, and we should ban it in the federal government, and it should be done immediately.
Especially, yeah, if there's any books about it, we should burn those. And anybody who espouses an idea I don't like politically or don't agree with politically, that we should ban that, for freedom's sake. You do realize if you ban it like that, that you're basically waving the white flag for America. You're saying our freedoms don't work. And by the way, what they consider critical race theory, which is a real thing, which is kind of shit, is not the same thing as diversity training, which is what they're really pushing back against. Anti-bullying campaigns and diversity training on, like, in the armed forces and in workplaces, that's what they're really talking about. But critical race theory is the big hobgoblin version of it. That's the Marxism to the Bernie Sanders version of social programs, right? So critical race theory is up here with Marxism, and then the real diversity training and stuff is just like, oh, that's a good idea. We should probably do something like that. Yeah, nothing spells freedom like a good old-fashioned book burning.
It be done very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly, like no one's ever seen before.
Washington Democrats are also pushing legislation to spend billions and billions of dollars on phony civic education.
Phony civic education.
Giving students academic credit to show up at protests. Can you believe that? And make themselves into left-wing activists. And how badly do they treat people that tend to be on the right compared to people that are on the radical left? Look at what happened in Portland. Nothing's happening with these people. And they do kill people, and they burn down buildings, and they go after federal buildings, and nothing happens. And people are damn angry about it. If government-run schools are going to indoctrinate children with radical ideas, Republicans must immediately pass legislation to empower every parent in America to opt out of the insanity and send their child to the public, private, charter, or religious school of their choice.
It's just the old, it's the old Republican kind of, religious school, voucher idea, just in another package. This is not getting the response I thought I was going to get.
The Socialist Democrats' quest for whatever it is they're looking for, because nobody knows, I don't even think they know, truly knows no bounds.
Yeah, they don't know what knows no bounds.
Nobody knows, I don't even think they know, truly knows no bounds.
That's a great sentence, isn't it? I mean, he's a wordsmith. Listen to this shit
The
again.
Socialist Democrats' quest for whatever it is they're looking for, because nobody knows, I don't even think they know, truly knows no bounds. The slander that they cause.
The slander that they cause.
Slander our country, disparage our founding, divide our children. And as we've seen time and time again in recent years, the left is willing to weaponize the law itself to persecute their political opponents.
Oh, that's getting into the Rudy Giuliani area?
There are people in this room that have been persecuted.
Oh, it's so sad. No, not you. Say it isn't
in
so.
New York, radical left prosecutors are right now spending
people in this room, namely
vast amounts of time and money threatening families and trying to destroy the lives of innocent people, really, really good people, in their crusade to inflict pain on me.
It's all about me.
Radical left movement in New York. There's no...
The radical left movement in New York. You mean the tax assessor's office?
Place where it's worse or more corrupt. And most importantly, to stop our movement. 75 million voters plus. That's what I say.
That's what I say.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars of radical left Democrat money have been paid to these prosecutors in the form of campaign contributions. Go get Trump, go get him. And now a new group of far left Democrats are seeking the prosecutor's office, all fighting for who will be the toughest on Trump. They're going to get elected. Whoever's the vicious, the most tough. They don't know anything about me. We're going to get Trump. What did he do? Well, we don't know, but we'll figure it out. Washington Post reported the other day. They've gotten millions of pages of documents. Well, when did he do a deal? Oh, did he do another deal? They're going through every deal I've ever done. Millions and millions of pages. If there's a comma mistake, if there's a misspelling.
Yeah, if there's a comma mistake and millions of dollars were presented as hundreds of thousands of dollars to a loan request for a bank or your tax assessment, that comma means a lot.
Spelling its problems. You know what? It's a disgrace to our country. It's prosecutorial misconduct. They're in
No, it isn't.
search of a crime.
Yeah, this is not a good sign if this is your first speech in public like this, and this is the root of it. This is the anchor of the conversation.
A fishing expedition, and the Supreme Court of the United States should not have allowed it to happen. Shouldn't have allowed it.
What did they have to do with it?
And they mention it can't be a fishing expedition. This is the ultimate fishing expedition.
At least it's not a witch hunt or a hoax.
It's been a 5-year-long witch hunt, hoax after hoax. Russia, Ukraine, the Mueller hoax. Look at the Mueller scam. How well did he do before Congress? It wasn't too good, was it? Lie after lie, corrupt investigation after corrupt investigation. Do you remember when they found out it was Hillary Clinton and the Democrats that paid for the dossier, the fake news dossier?
You mean the one the Washington Examiner paid for and then didn't want to air because they decided since you were going to be the nominee that they would support you, so the Fusion GPS sold it to Hillary and the Democrats as oppo research on you, and then they were like, we're going to win anyways, we don't need this shit, we're not going to talk about PP tapes for 3 months, we've got plans. And so Christopher Steele, who is it true he slept with Ivanka? Do we know that for sure? Took it to the FBI and took it to John McCain and said, look, Hillary and the campaign refuses to take this to the FBI and they're not going to run on it, and this is some real shit.
Dossier, the fake dossier.
Was it the Washington Free Beacon?
It was Hillary Clinton.
Thank you.
And they got more than the great James Patterson. This guy, Christopher Steele, I don't know who the hell he is, but he sure as hell hated me.
Ask Ivanka.
It was a
Yeah, a lot of people hate you after they've seen the evidence.
total phony deal, paid for by the Democrats and crooked Hillary Clinton. And nothing happens to them. And by the way, where's Durham? What happened to Durham? Where is he?
Yeah, where is Durham? Didn't you have a report coming out? Wasn't it going to just... I mean, obviously, Bill Barr, who, thinks the sun shines out of your ass to a certain extent, wasn't impressed by what Durham was finding and kind of blew it off. And Durham's like, oh, I guess I'll get it done.
Has anyone seen Durham? All of this for nothing. It's a shame. It's a shame. They do things a little bit differently. We'll never let it happen again.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be president again. It doesn't matter.
Now they just send the same information from the no collusion Mueller investigation to corrupt politicians in New York. They send everything that they've already gone over and over and over. Send it into New York. Let the radical left prosecutors go after Trump.
Why? None of that stuff was... Mueller wasn't even allowed to go after your finances.
Just give it a shot, they say. Give it a shot. They failed in Washington. They failed all over the place. Between the impeachment hoax #1, impeachment hoax #2.
Yeah, impeached twice.
All of these investigations. Oh, shit, we failed.
That's your big moment? That's your big moment?
Oh,
really?
Shit, we failed.
I think that's actually what's going to be written in stone above the entryway to his presidential library.
Oh, shit, we failed. Let's send it to the radical left prosecutors in New York. Maybe they can have more luck. They'll never stop until November of 2024. They won't stop. There's no better example of the Democrat and media corruption than the 2020 election hoax. As you know, the evidence... As you know, the evidence is too voluminous to even mention. All you have to do is read the article in Time Magazine, cover story in Time Magazine. I'm not a big fan. I was on the cover a lot. Perhaps a record.
No.
A lot.
No.
I got to a point, if I was ever on the cover, I was on the cover of Time Magazine before I did this political thing. And I read every word I studied. I wonder what that means. And it was actually a very good story. I used to actually get good press. Can you believe it? I guess that's how I got to be president when you think about it. But I used
Yeah. Back when it was real fake news, when they were like, yeah, I guess he is rich if he says he is. What the fuck?
to get great press. But Time Magazine did a story. They couldn't help themselves. They had to brag about what they did in November. They had to brag. And that story just goes 25% of the way. But if you take it a little bit further, you'll just read that and you see how corrupt. But that's the least of it.
What?
You look at what happened on that evening when the election was won.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And all of a sudden, vast amounts
Happy
of
birthday.
votes were taken in, just in certain states, swing states.
Happy
Swing
birthday,
states
Robert.
that I was leading by a lot. Then all of a sudden, something happened.
Yeah, they counted the rest of the votes.
It was a disgrace to our country. And if you think people don't see it, people see it. People have seen it.
You mean Mike Lindell's movie?
The 2020 presidential election. That election,
boy.
the 2020 presidential election, was by far the most corrupt election in the history of our country. There's never been anything like this.
And yet, in spite of all the fraud you attempted to commit, they still, the Biden administration still beat you.
Used COVID, and they used the mail-in ballots to steal an election. It was the third world country election like we've never seen before.
Jesus Christ. The third world country election like we've never seen before.
It was the third world country election like we've never seen before. Look at what took place. I want to
congratulate the Biden administration.
congratulate, by the way, Republican state senators in Arizona and
Oh, you mean the people who won in that election, but you lost?
other places for their great work that they are doing in exposing this fraud. And maybe, again, I have nothing to do with the Arizona situation. They're doing it, the state senate of Arizona, because there are so many discrepancies, so many problems. And they've heard from so many people about the corruption and what took place. So they're doing it. Let's see what happens. They'll be finished in 3 or 4 weeks. It'll be very interesting. But I'll tell you, and maybe they'll find nothing. Maybe they'll say, it was a wonderful, perfect election. But maybe not. And now they're looking at it in Pennsylvania, and they're looking at it in Georgia, and they're looking at it in many other states, because they're saying, the same things happened to us.
Really? Are they looking at Kentucky, Ohio, and Texas and Florida, where they used the ES and S machines and the polls were way off, awkwardly so, whereas the other states, they were pretty close to dead on, and even in the states we're complaining about, you won the majority of the counties that used Dominion machines. Nobody brings that. Nobody cares. No.
That election will go down as the crime of the century, and our country is being destroyed by people who perhaps have no right to destroy it.
Does anybody have a right to destroy it, I guess?
Zuckerberg broke the law, spending millions of dollars. Don't you think he broke the law?
What law? Yes, I do think he broke the law when they received payments for political ads that supported you in rubles.
Millions of dollars to get out the vote efforts in highly Democrat areas. He used to come to the White House. He'd call, could I have dinner with you, sir? Sure. Could I bring my wife? Oh, absolutely. He actually walked into the office one day in front of numerous people. Congratulations, sir. Why? He said, you're #1 on Facebook.
Oh my God, this story again.
He said to me, you're #1 on Facebook. I said, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We had a nice dinner.
#1 for what?
The day I was out, he became rather, I guess it's human nature. But we can't let our country be run by that kind of human nature, can we? Zuckerberg.
What?
It's another beauty.
Can you imagine spending $1,500 to sit minimum at a table in the back to listen to this shit?
But they say they may allow me back in 2 years. No, I'm not too interested in that. They may allow me back in 2 years. We got to stop that. We can't let it happen. So unfair. They're shutting down an entire group of people. Not just me. They're shutting down the voice of a tremendously powerful, in my opinion, a much more powerful and a much larger group. Because you know what? When the Democrats say defund the police, open borders, sanctuary cities, all of these horrible, horrible cancel culture things, their policy is terrible. And I say a lot now. There's no way they go 50-50. Who the hell wants to defund the police? Look at what's happening where they're defunding the police.
Yeah, nobody on the national level.
Crime rate is going up by 50, 60, 100%, 131% in one city. They don't even know what to do, but they keep doing it.
Oh,
the policy is so
congratulations,
bad.
Robert.
You know what? They're smart, and I said, they're vicious, and they stick together. But I don't believe it's 50-50, because our country isn't there. We're not a 50-50 country to defund the police and to have sanctuary cities where criminals are allowed to be protected.
Yeah, the guys in Georgia didn't run on any of that. If that's what you're talking about as far as the Senate division.
I'm telling you, I think a lot of these elections where they always seem to have an advantage, I don't believe it. I can't believe that some of these states that are...
Well, yeah, because you're a deluded old fart. I mean, that's what deluded old farts think.
Blue, that they're blue. I know those people. They're smart people. And I see so many people. They love me because they love what I stand for. And they're not in...
There's not a chance that you're looking at a state that's like 55-45 leaning Democratic because of you. It might have been the other direction, and it's literally you shifted 10% of the voters in just 4 years. That's entirely reasonable.
Not into these things. There's something going on, and we have to be very, very careful with our election process, because I don't believe we're a 50-50 nation where these states are split evenly. They can't be split. This is corrupt elections, possibly, and we can't allow it to go on. And I can tell you, and you'll see it because more and more it's coming out, the things that happened in
all the time.
The recent election, dead people voting, dead people. Worse is dead people voting who had to apply to vote. So you had people.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, for example, let's see if we can find this. Trump voter dead by murder. That should do it. Yeah, there is.
Tonight there is news of a major development in the case of a...
Yeah. Hold on. Here you go. Just so you know, just so we're aware, some dead people did vote. This guy, Barry Morphew, murdered her and used her ballot to vote for Trump. So yeah, dead people voted. There is officially a case where someone is being tried in a court of law, and it's this dude, right? And this dude murdered his wife and voted and used her ballot to vote for Trump. There you go. And he admitted to it. The ballot did not have the required signature, but was allegedly signed by Barry Morphew on the witness's signature line on October 15th. According to the affidavit, she'd been missing for like 5 months. The Chaffee County Sheriff seized the ballot and its envelope as evidence. And Barry Morphew's own ballot and envelope were seized in March, as well during a months-long investigation. During an interview with FBI agents in April, Barry Morphew allegedly confessed to submitting his wife's ballot, according to the affidavit, just because I wanted Trump to win, he allegedly said, per a transcript of the conversation included with the affidavit. I just thought, give him another vote. I figure all those other guys are cheating, he allegedly said, adding that his wife was going to vote for Trump anyways, according to the affidavit. He allegedly told the FBI agents he didn't realize it was illegal to submit someone else's voter ballot. I didn't know you couldn't do that for your spouse, he allegedly said, even when you'd murdered her. So just, when Trump says that, I'm just saying, yeah.
People that are dead that applied to vote. And by the way, I'm talking about thousands of people, thousands and thousands of people, dead people. Illegal aliens voting.
Yeah, all for you. Prove me wrong. All the voter fraud was people being paid to vote for Trump or fake vote for Trump. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, because you don't get to set up all this shit, lose so spectacularly, and then just to claim that you lost, you're like, I can prove dead people voted. Look at all those dead people that are on the voter rolls that voted. Yeah, but who'd they vote for? I don't know. Obviously the guy who won. Really? Is it that obvious? I mean, what's your case?
Indians getting paid to vote in certain states.
Indians getting paid to vote. That's a new one.
Illegal aliens voting. Indians getting paid to vote in certain states, including Arizona and Nevada. Getting paid to vote. You're not allowed to get paid to vote. It's a terrible
Yeah, it's the opposite of a poll tax, is what we're trying.
thing that's going on.
Thank you, Paul.
We have to clean up those rolls. We have to do so many things. But we're not going to have a country. If you don't have election integrity, and if you don't have strong borders, our country can be run like a dictatorship, and that's what they'd like to do. I don't even think Biden is the dictator. If anybody knows who the hell is running that operation, could you let us know? Because I don't think it's Joe, but who the hell knows? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. And with all of the things
Who
currently
wrote this
going on,
speech?
especially the prosecutorial misconduct that's going on at a level like nobody's seen for many, many years.
Well, that's at least a twist on the phrase.
That's all that's happening. And that's
It's all that's happening. Prosecutorial misconduct. It's terrible.
what they're doing. They want to silence you. They want to silence your voice. Remember,
Really? Because those people will be able to talk and vote and all that kind of shit, even if you go to jail. How are they going to silence your voice?
I am not the one trying to undermine American democracy. I'm the one that's trying to save it. Please remember that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, check. Got that. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. We all know what happened with the election,
Do we?
and we can never, ever let that happen again.
Yes, we should. There should never be another election where you run against anyone. How about that?
And we're going to go forward, and we're going to continue to look, and things are being found that is not
Haven't been things like been found like in a long time and more than people couldn't even believe.
even believable. But we have to do
Right? Oh man,
that, because without going back, you're not going to go forward. The thing that
that's true. I mean, that's his bumper sticker. Trump. If you without going back, you can never go forward.
I get most is that, sir, we can't
Coming from a man who doesn't have a driver's license.
let that happen again. If we're gonna work and spend money and make contributions, sir, will the same thing happen in 2022 to Ted and to other people? Will the same thing happen as happened in 20? We have to be able to say absolutely not. That's why I love what they've done in Texas. I love what they're doing in Florida and done in Florida. I would like to see Georgia be much tougher. They don't have signature verification. They don't have things. The Georgia
Yeah, they do.
has to be tougher. But I love what's going on in so many states. 41.
What he means by the signature verification is that if somebody mails in their ballot, somebody has to be there to witness it for them. You know, like the dude who signed the witness line for his wife that he murdered.
Different states, because they saw what happened in this last disaster, and they don't want it to happen again. And the only way you're going to be able to really solve that problem is to
Make sure that brown people can't vote.
figure out exactly what happened. And you know what? They're going to be able to do that. In light of so many outrageous wrongs, Republicans across the country are pursuing voting reforms to ensure election integrity. One of the biggest things that I hear is election integrity.
Is it? That's one of the biggest ones.
Joe Biden called these common sense reforms un-American. But the thing that is really un-American is an election scam.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could argue that that's the case he's making, that a lot of these laws are scams.
That's un-American. You know, all over the world, they used to say, oh, they're the land of the free. They have great elections. We don't have great
Yeah.
elections.
Yeah, we do.
We have elections like
People wouldn't believe.
probably very few countries have, and that's in a bad way, not in a good way.
He does have the best words. I don't know where he put them, but they're somewhere.
What happened to this country in that last election was a disgrace, and it's being laughed at and viewed all over the world.
Is it in that order?
And I can tell you China is extremely happy about it, and Russia is extremely happy about it. They're all very, very happy about it.
Well, yeah, because now they don't have to pay you any more money, and you can't, you have no power over them. So, yeah, they just get to make your life hell.
Probably in order, I would say China, and then I would say
Yeah, bring out a big ranking thing. Spin a wheel.
Iran, and then I would say many countries.
Yeah, then I would just go, are there any other countries? Many countries.
I could go through a list of them, but China
Yeah, but that's the only countries.
is certainly happy. Iran is
Sure, China and Iran and
happy.
Russia.
Think of it. If
Think
the bill
of it.
passed by
Yeah.
the House Democrats,
Jesus.
H.R. 1, is ever signed into law, there will never be another fair election in our country. It can't get worse, but it would be almost as bad as the recent presidential election. To fully secure every future election, we must have photo ID, universal signature verification.
Yeah, universal photo ID. Let's do that. Oh, you wouldn't hear the applause, though, if they did that.
Citizenship confirmation, chain of custody integrity controls, updated voter rolls for every election. You got to update those voter rolls, not people that have been dead for 9 years.
Yeah, they do that.
We can't have illegal aliens allowed to vote. Strong protection
No, we
of
don't.
poll watchers. Our poll watchers are poor poll watchers.
Yeah, the poor poll
What happened to
watchers.
them in Philadelphia? What happened to them in Detroit?
You mean the ones that signed up and were there because they'd already signed up? Or you mean the people that stormed the place and went, I'm a poll watcher?
Where they were literally thrown out of election for days. And we're actually
Yeah, because they already had people who had signed up through the normal order of things, and they just decided, I'm going to go down there.
afraid for their lives. And we
Oh, were they? It's so scary.
cannot have drop boxes paid for by Facebook and Zuckerberg. Where, by the way, massive numbers, 96% of the vote is for Joe Biden. Doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, it does if they're in areas where Republicans have intentionally denied voters access, specifically in terms of voting boxes, and given a lot of them to areas that they knew would vote for you because they run the state. And then private sponsorship, there's no way to stop that, even though it pays for the boxes. The money, they don't just pay for them and have them sit there. They sponsor them through the city or through the state, and then the state uses that money to expand the number of drop boxes. But that they don't pick where they go. They just know that, well, we can't put any more in the white area. They got plenty, so we'll put them in the black neighborhood where they don't have any. And so 95% of the people there, I'm amazed that 5% of the people there voted for you.
You ever see these drop boxes? Some of them came back very late. They got lifted, taken. Where are they? A day later. Where are they? Oh, they're coming. Oh, great. That's wonderful. 96% for Joe Biden.
Yeah, because they were in areas where the vote went 95% to him, and it wasn't. It was 91%.
We must
but-
eliminate the absurdity of mass mail-in voting, and people should vote.
Yeah, but we're not doing mass mail-in voting in 2022 or 2024. But the states that have expanded it will do more of it, and then they'll be the ones that will define the elections because they'll have more voters
In person on
participating.
election day, not over weeks and months where all sorts of things can happen, and they're not good things for our country.
What kind of things? Would somebody come back and change their vote later?
And there should have to be a
How can we have an October surprise if somebody votes in September?
legitimate reason for someone to vote absentee.
There was. It was a pandemic, apparently a bioweapon that you say China sent, and somehow they didn't want to go out into it. But all your followers thought it was fake, so they were fine. And they also you don't understand why you're not getting credit for the vaccine, which they refuse to take. I don't understand.
There are people that deserve it. They're sick. They're at a certain age. They can't make it, and they love our country. There's a certain group of people, military, But to do what you did, where you're sending out millions and millions, and by the way, I don't know if those of you that are really into the world of politics, you know that I called this long before when I heard what they were doing.
You mean when the polls came out and said you were losing, you started saying that it was going to be rigged?
How they were allowed to
Christ, this is long.
do this, send out millions and millions of ballots. Some people got 6, some people got 7 ballots. To send
No, they didn't.
out millions of ballots to allow that to happen to our country. We know the radical
Some addresses with 7 voters in the House got 7 ballots.
left will stop at nothing in their efforts to destroy
I understand, Bethany. We'll get through this.
America we love. But with the help of righteous American patriots like all of you in this room, they will fail. Our movement is far from over.
Yes, this movement is far from over. And I think you should... Yeah.
In fact, it is just getting started.
Well, that's kind of shit timing, right? After your entire presidency?
Here in North Carolina, across the country, the Republican Party will continue to fight for strong families, safe communities, and secure and sovereign borders. We will fight for more jobs, lower taxes, and pro-American trade deals that result in more North Carolina workers forging more products stamped with beautiful, beautiful phrases, but in particular, made in the USA, Mr. Furniture Manufacturer.
Yeah, whatever your name is. Mr. Furniture
We will shut
Manufacturer.
down outsourcing, bring
I don't...
back our supply chains, crack down on trade cheaters
Uh-huh.
Q-snatch.
and violators, and ensure that America, not China, dominates the future of the world.
Of the world. Basically, he's just cribbing from Biden's speeches lately, except for the whole, of the world.
We will protect innocent life. We will defend our glorious Constitution, and we will uphold the Judeo-Christian values and principles of our nation's founding.
Oh, yeah? Which ones are those? Like turn the other cheek, don't bear false witness, do unto others you would have them do unto you, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
We will break up the big tech monopolies, reject
No, they won't.
left-wing cancel culture, restore free speech in America, and demand free, fair, and honest, transparent elections. We will strengthen our military, support our great police, and always take care of our amazing veterans. Do you know that we got a 92%
Yeah, 91%.
approval rating?
Now it's 92.
With respect to
Gabash.
the VA, they rated us 92% approval rating. It's never been anywhere even near that number. Very proud of that. And with the American
And oddly enough, it's still there. It might be that the changes were made over a decade ago and they finally caught on.
pride that fills our souls, we will teach our children to love their country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag.
Yeah.
Tomorrow-
You know, one of the ways you could do that is by not carrying the Confederate flag through the Capitol.
Tomorrow marks the 77th anniversary of one of the most epic military triumphs in the history of the world, the Allied invasion of Normandy on D-Day. As we remember this incredible achievement, let us summon the spirit of generations of Americans before us who gave their blood, sweat, and tears for our beloved country. All of us in this room inherit the legacy of the selfless patriots who won the battles.
Oh, my
crossed the
God.
ocean.
This is him, like, claiming the valor of the people who fought in World War II as their own. We're fighting cancel culture like they fought Hitler. Jesus Christ.
Forged the steel, made the breakthroughs, climbed the summits, these great, beautiful summits.
Sexually assaulted the supermodels, crushed the Sudafed, snorted the blow, fired Mr. T.
tamed the frontiers and seized the victories that built America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. And that's where we want to keep it. That is our
Well, yeah, that's why you only lasted one term.
magnificent American inheritance. And there is nothing like it anywhere in the world, and there never will be. So let us go.
Well, then why are you so worried about what Biden can do to it? I mean, obviously, it's a great country. It should be able to withstand nearly anyone.
Go forward tonight, moved by their sacrifice, motivated by their example, inspired by their resolve, committed to their values, and more determined than ever to make America prouder, freer, stronger, and greater than ever before. Thank you, North Carolina.
Oh,
God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Really? And straight to YMCA? Okay, clap, clap, clap. This is the fun part. Thank you very much. It was a little rambly. I did okay. Everybody got a standing ovation. That's great. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, 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 clap. Hey, okay. Hey, yay, clap, clap, clap. No plane to go to right now, so thank you, clap, 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 clap. Hand job, hand job, hand job. Clap, 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 clap. Hey, I love you very much. Point. Thumb up your butt. Thank you. Clap, 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 clap. Thank you very much, everybody. Clap, clap. Thank you. Bye. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Bye. See you later. You person. Hey, everybody. Hey, Elton John. Good to see you. How are you? Hey, I can't hang out. There goes Lara. Nice to meet you. Oh, I got to say hi to these people. Hey, furniture guy. How you doing? Hey, body men, come over and somebody save me from this dude in this weird outfit. Thank you. I like this shirt. Bye. Get me out of here. Thank you. You, point. What's up, girl? Hey, how you doing? Thanks. Handshake. Thank you. Good to see you. He's so wonderful. Yeah, I do wonder. I'll stand over here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to work with that. Nope, that person doesn't want to touch me. Thank you. Hey, you look like Ivanka. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Bye, Heil. Heil you later. Thumb up your butt. Bye. Thank you. Heil, 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 Heil. Just making an awkward hand gesture. Fist pump, fist pump. Squirt, squirt. There you go. Heil, Heil, everybody. Big smile, big smile. And that's it. That was exciting. Oh, God. That was friggin' work. Jesus.